Folks, this month we have been talking about focus and distractions. We've spent some time talking about interruptions. We know from the research that it takes us up to 23 minutes to reestablish our focus every time we're interrupted. Today, we're going to talk about, well, what if I don't have the ability to have office hours where I allow myself to be interrupted? What if I can't work with a 2-minute or less rule? What if I can't establish a couple blocks of deep focus time where I work on one thing during my day? In other words, the price of doing business for me is I have to be available when people drop by, when the phone rings, when a message comes in, an email comes in. I need to handle it very quickly. Well, you're going to get bored. That's right, boredom. Boredom is awful. We don't like boredom. It's uncomfortable. In fact, think about the last time you were standing at the grocery store to check out and you were up next, but you had a few moments while that person in front of you was finishing checking out and you got bored. You probably reached for your phone and started looking at it. Maybe you picked up Time magazine, checking out the person of the year. We don't like boredom. But in this case, boredom is your friend. And since you can't use some of those other strategies to recover or to minimize or in some cases eliminate interruptions, we're going to kind of reverse engineer this. And what you're going to do in your day is you're going to build in a short period of time, a couple minutes to become bored. And you could put 2 or 3 or even 6 or 8 of these in a day because it's only going to take you a couple minutes. The research on boredom is very promising, meaning that when you allow yourself to get bored, your brain and your body reset. Your brain undergoes what's called a cognitive reset, and your physical presence, your physiology resets as well. Let me explain. You have in your schedule a dedicated block of time, 2 minutes at 10:30 until 10:32. And in that 2 minutes, what are you going to do? Get bored. In other words, you're going to do nothing. Now, boredom is best done when you don't have any kind of a stimulus, you're not looking at a screen still, you have notifications off, it's only 2 minutes, and you allow yourself to just sit, and your brain can go where it wants to go, it can go blank, it can think about what you have for lunch, it can think about what you're going to have for dinner, whatever you'd like, but you're not actively engaged in anything. You're not doing any critical thinking or deep thinking. You're not ruminating or overthinking something. You're not thinking about that last meeting. You're just allowing yourself to be present. And what you do with that boredom is some people will like to put noise canceling headphones on or earplugs. Some people will use an eye mask. Some people will just close their eyes and just kind of sit in their chair comfortably. And you allow yourself to get bored. The interesting thing about this, it's not going to take long, right? Because if you think about standing in the checkout line at the store, it doesn't take as long before we're reaching for something to kind of scratch the itch of that boredom. But what happens during boredom is your brain will start to cool down. Functional MRI testing shows that when the brain is actively engaged in work or communicating with someone, it is in bright colors, right? The brain is lit up because there's a lot of centers of the brain doing that work or establishing and communicating with someone. Also, a lot of times in communication or typing or working on something, we get some physiological tension. We get what's called tonal tension, where our shoulders get a little tight and we might have some tension in our forearms or our neck, that sort of thing. Sometimes our jaw gets tight. With boredom, you'll notice that your brain starts to go to that place where it's like, okay, not much happening up there. This is kind of nice, kind of quiet. You'll also, if you pay attention to your physiology, your body, you'll start to feel like you're sinking into your chair a little more. Your shoulders will start to drop. Your neck will start to loosen up. You'll even find that you get some slack in your jaw. Your jaw, if it was tight before, it starts to loosen up a little bit. The best part about it is it only takes a minute or two to do this. Try it out. Pick just 1 2-minute block tomorrow where you're going to allow yourself to not be engaged at work. You're not going to be looking at screens. You're going to turn them off or put an eye mask on or just close your eyes and sit quietly and just feel how that reset is taking place. But not just in the moment of boredom. Think about what you're like when you come back out of that boredom. Think about how fresh or refreshed you feel. And I think right then and there, you'll see the benefit of boredom. It's not an enemy, it's an ally. Until next time, folks, take care of yourself so you can take care of each other. I'll see you back here real soon.